Welcome, wizards and witches, to my channel. It's Great Cloud Gaming. Today we're going to be opening up this Murders at Karlov Manor play booster box. Happy to finally have just the play boosters rather than a set and draft and collectors. Now we just got play boosters and then collector boosters. That'll make things a little bit easier from now on. Opening a couple of these up from the pre-release. They're pretty similar to set packs. A little bit less of the uncommons. And commons and whatnot, and that's not a bad thing. Art cards are a little more rare, but looking forward to these. We're gonna get started today. Later on in the week we'll be opening up the metal too, but tonight just gonna be opening up this. Stick around if you'd like. You can jump ahead. I'm gonna put some timestamps in the video for different spots in the of different packs we're opening halfway through and whatnot. And we're gonna look for some of these clues. Looks like we can track different clues. Teysa is dead. And so there's a bunch of little clues and puzzle pieces we'll try to find. I've seen a couple of these and they've got different art on them. Yeah, let's get into it. Going to track our slime count as well. Slime Against Humanity. I have any number of those in a deck, so as many as we can get. Sure, people will look for those. Got our Simic dice over there, but got our nice silver knife. Let's go ahead, take a look into the box, see what we can get today. Here we go. I love this. It's a classic whodunit. It was the goblin. It was Tristani. The chef did it. Alright, let's see what we got in here. The weird window. Look at that. You can draw a continuous loop along the edge of the window panes. The loop can't touch or cross itself at an intersection. The number of cracks within each pane indicates the number of that pane's edges that are part of the loop. Edges of panes including one. Okay. Interesting. We may go in and try that later. There's some of the draft archetypes if you haven't drafted yet or played at the pre-release. But cool. Weird window. Alright. Let's get you over there. I always like to start in the middle. Prof. Detective. Inspector Gadget coming to the rescue. Super easy to open these packs. Alright. I think, let's see here. Yep, they're going to be Japanese style, so I'll go through these pretty quick. I'm going to maybe go through a couple of the commons and uncommons in the first few packs, and then we'll skip ahead later down. But sweet, Foil the Island. Not a cool. I actually really like that art on there. Cool. Ooh, got a Bishop of Bluntstain from the list. Still got the list. Good to note. Ooh, Gadget Technician. You can get blown out by this in limited and stuff. Because when it gets turned face up, you get a Thopter for 2 mana. Blue or red. Not a bad one. And we got a Officious Interrogation. There may be some cool synergies in Commander with this. So you can choose any number of players for 2 and a blue, or red and a white and a blue. Can't talk today. Choose any number of target players, investigate X times, where X is the total number of creatures that player is controlled, so all the clue tokens. And we got ourselves a second rare of the Plain Island Surveil Land. Big fan of these. Fetchable. Fetchable, and you can get rid of the top card of your library or put it in your graveyard. Some decks are really looking for that, so that looks good. Second look at this breakout card. You look at the top 6 and put a creature that's 2 or less onto the battlefield and gains haste. Or you can put that card in your hand after you reveal it. So this could be a dig 6, put that creature on the battlefield for free for small creatures and mana dorks and stuff. Seems pretty cool. Got a couple of other ones like the treatment on this lens. Detective magnifying glasses. Behind the mask. Cluefish. I love the Cluefish. You can actually just sacrifice it like a clue for 2 mana. Gadget Technician. Another disguised guy. Can't be countered, and ward can't counter it. Anything that says this ability would counter it, can't counter it. So -X for -X in black. Creature gets -X. Can't be countered. Nice. Alright. We'll put our lands up here, because I think the land cycle is going to be pretty cool. We'll put our foliage over here. Honorable mentions. Cool. We'll go through these a little bit quicker. Alright. Aw, the bestest of doggos. Look at him. He's got your knife holster and everything. I'm just kidding. What is that? It's a little satchel. It's a nice little pupper. Gotta love it. Got our full art man. Put all our full arts up here. Rot Farm Mortipede Foily. Good limited. We'll put you over here. Alright, we got our rare lands. Our foilies. Ooh, Portfolio Delaney Mythic. Happy to see it. Streetwise Lookout. 2 and a white mana. Legendary creature. I love the way that the text is on these. Creatures you control with power 2 or less can't be blocked by creatures with 3 or greater. And then if an ability a creature you control with power 2 or less triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. It may not seem like it, but I'm actually hoping to put this into my Arcades Walls deck, because all the walls are basically 0 power, 1 power, maybe 2, and anything that triggers, like Wall of Omens, it says enters the battlefield, draws a card, this is going to make it trigger twice. And so there's the Great Creeping Vine that lets you go get basic lands, so you're going to get 2 of those now. And it's going to make all of them unblockable by creatures that are 3 or greater. So basically all of your opponent's stuff. This is going to be a second Tetsuko in your deck. I think this is going to be a pretty decent include in Arcades. But obviously there's going to be a lot of other great places for this. So happy to see this Mythic. I was really looking forward to this. So sweet. We will put you right here. We're going to put our Mythics right there. And then we've got another rare 10th District Hero. I think he can he kind of levels up. 1 and a white. You can pay 1 and a white and make collect evidence 2, so you exile things 2 mana or less. 10th District Hero becomes a human detective with base power and toughness 4/4 and gains vigilance. You can pay 2 and a white, collect evidence 4. If 10th District Hero is a detective, so from the last ability, it becomes a legendary creature named Maleva the Stalwart. It has base power and toughness 5/5, and it gains other creatures you control have indestructible. Not a bad way to get this up, so giving all your creatures indestructible seems like a pretty decent way to go up. And then we've got a couple of great cards for limited. 2 and less in this set is really big, so this works pretty well in those spots. I'm going to separate my uncommons too. The Gossip, this you can spend this to cast face down spells or to turn creatures face up, so good in those morph decks, but may not see anywhere other than that, any kind of constructive formats. Enters the battlefield and surveils 2, not the worst for 2 mana. On an artifact creature that you might be 1 in artifacts, Dramatic Accusation can shuffle creatures away. Pick your poison. Each opponent sacrifice an artifact, an enchantment, or creature with flying for 1 mana. Not a bad investment on that. The Gearbane and Orangutan, good and limited. Very good rates. You can make them a 4/4 for 3 mana. Dogwalker, 1 and a white. He's got the disguise. If you turn him face up, you make 2 tap dog tokens. Cool. Never seen him. Make your move. Destroy artifact or enchantment or creature with power 4 or greater. Instant speed for 3. Not bad limited. Very, very good spell limited. There's all kinds of artifacts and artifact creatures and whatnot out there. Sweet. Alright. Got ourselves an art card. Ooh. The Feeder. We'll keep our token slot and the art slot is the same now. Got a full art planes, cool. Ooh, from the list. Face down creatures get +1/+1, and then you can pay 2 and a blue. Turn target face down creature face up. I saw someone talk about this on some short recently. It's funny that this is actually popping up in the list. Probably a decent flavor hit for the list. It doesn't add up. Return target creature from the graveyard to the battlefield. Can't block though. And then relive the past. Cool. Oh, you get an artifact, land, and non-aura enchantment from the graveyard to the battlefield. And they're 5/5 elementals in addition to the other types. Okay. Gotta be playing them. And we got Buried in the Garden. Here's battlefield exile. Oh, you enchant a land. Exile target non-land permanent you don't control until this leaves the battlefield. And then whenever the land is tapped for mana, it adds an additional mana. Interesting for those enchantment decks. They may want to see this because you can get double land, extra land benefits from it. Gain flying. Good bounce spell. I'm a fan of the bounce spell. Here. Alright. In flight. They went this way. For a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped and then investigate for 3 mana. It's a little much. Goblin Maskmaker. Whenever you text face down spells you cast this turn cost 1 less to cast. Might see some standard play. We'll see. Dramatic accusation. I like the art. It's that cat meme with the lady that's pointing. Oh man, that's funny. A spacious arrival. Story spotlight. Slice from the shadows. Destroy those creatures. What are we at? It's a cadaver. Drag the canal. This is where it all happened. The estate. Treacherous Greed foil. Rare. 1 white and a black. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature that dealt damage this turn. Draw 3 cards. Each opponent loses 3 life and gains 3 life. Cool. Not a bad foily rare. Ooh, and we got Teysa in her majesty. Foily rares. Teysa. She's Death Touch 2/3. At the beginning of your end step, investigate for each opponent who lost life this turn. So you're getting a lot of clue tokens just from passing the turn. Well, if you can do some damage to each person in some way or another, especially with those enchantments that just deal 1 damage to everyone on your upkeep or your end step or whatever, this will help you get 3 tokens out of that. Whenever a clue you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. It only triggers once each turn. Wah. Why do you have to put that there? We all wanted to go infinite. Corvad Haunch. I love the flavor on this. It's a food, so you can sack it for 2 and gain 3 life, but it's also an equipment for 1 mana. Equipped creature can be equipped for 2, getting +2 power, so they can wield it as a club. If it's put in the graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay 1 and a white, and if you do, create 2 dog creature tokens so you can toss a bone to a couple dogs. I love the flavor on that. I just love it. Night Drinker, very good to flip this up and they had no idea it was coming, then all of a sudden they're getting hit for 4 in the air. Very good and limited. Ooh. You may choose not to untap the Hedge Whisperer during your untap step. Okay. You can make a land of 5/5 as long as he remains tapped. Cool. Cool and limited. Enchanted creature. You suspect it, so it has menace now, but it can't block. It gets +1/+1, and you can return this from your graveyard to your hand. So if the creature dies, you can get it back. A Panther, basic land cycling, not bad and limited. Demand answers. Ooh, I like it in this flame in the lens. Instant speed. You can sack an artifact or discard a card to draw 2 cards. So just a strictly better torment. I'm a fan of that. Reasonable doubt. Counter for 2. You can suspect something as well. Escape tunnel. I'm a fan. Strictly better evolving wilds. On the job. Creature you control get +2/+1. Investigate. Meh. Murder. Just for some flavor. You can see all the guild houses in the background. Because she was murdered. Zagana from the Simic Guild. And the Gravestone. Nice. Nice. Love it. They did try to go full force on the detectives and whatnot. Got a little token. Foily Plains. Cool. I'm not the biggest fan of these lands, but they're nice. I like the look of them a little bit. Reasonable doubt. Case of the Locked Hothouse. You play an additional land on each of your turns, on each one of them, because you have to go infinite. You control 7 or more lands. You can solve this by, if you control 7 or more, you may look at the top card of your library any time, and you may play lands and cast creatures and enchantment spells from the top of your library. Not a bad rule. All you have to do is play the game. And if you're playing additional land each turn, hopefully by turn 4, you can play this. And then by turn 5 or 6, you've got your 7 lands out, which is not hard to do. Candlestick. This is the include enchantment. Whenever a creature attacks, the equipped creature attacks, you surveil 2, or you can suck it. I'm a fan. Case of the Burning Mask. Enters battlefield, deals 3 damage. Not bad. 3 or more sources you control dealt damage this turn. Not hard to do in some formats. Sacrifice this case. Exile the top 3 cards of your library. Choose one of them and you can play that. It's a lot of steps for what it's doing. Not the biggest fan. Crawl Whipcracker. Cool and limited. Fade Flight. Flash. Gives the creature hexproof until end of turn and flying. Good limited trick. Vidigazi Inspector. Cool. The Tunneler. Gotta love the mole. The Chase is on. Jaded Analyst. Defender. Limited. Extracted Confession. Insight Source. Makes a 2/2. For 3 mana makes a 2/2 and she's a 1/1. Not too bad. Alright. Let's see what else we got. Ooh, we got ourselves a clue. There's footprints or markings. And as you can see, this will be... Haha! The plot thickens. Swamp. I cracked myself up. Fugitive Codebreaker. Cool little goblin with prowess and haste. It's reduced, so you can pay it for 3. Just as a ward creature, and then you could potentially flip it for 1 red. When it's turned face up, you discard your hand, draw 3 cards. Not bad in those decks that kind of rush out and kind of run out of gas pretty quick. So, good include. Ooh, we got ourselves a Thundering Falls, one of the only fetchable colored lands. There's not a lot, maybe like 4 or 5 total, including like the Volcanic Island and whatnot. That, the Shock Land, and I think the Cycling Land, if there was one. So there's not a whole bunch. There might be like 1 or 2 other ones. Case File Auditor. As battlefield, whenever you solve a case, she's on the case. Look at the top 6. Reveal an enchantment among them and put it in your hand. You may spend mana as any mana color to cast cases. Cool for limited. Case of the Temple Garden. Distribute some counters. Whenever creatures attack, you put counters on them. Seems like a lot of steps, though. I'm a fan of these. Return target creature with 3 or less from their graveyard to the battlefield. Put a flying counter on it, and it's a spirit. For 2 mana. What are you doing, white? That is very good. Rebel Bout. Orangutan. Sanguine Savior. Very good in limited. The lifelink is invaluable. Everything is like 2 power or less, so this negates someone's attack and you're still doing damage. It's fantastic. Sweet. Alright, let's go from this one. Let's see what we got. Got a little token. A forest. Look at that. They had to put some trees in there. It wouldn't be a forest otherwise. Fanatical Strength foiled in the lens. I like the lightning treatment. Cool. Case of the Uneaten Feast. I'm a pretty big fan of this. Whenever a creature you control enters the battlefield, you gain a life. Or creature enters the battlefield under your control. Yep. A Johnny's Welcome. And then if you gain 5 more life, you can sack this case, and then creature cards in your graveyard can be cast from your graveyard till end of turn. Pretty big fan. And also those Lurus decks out there needing 1 permanence or less, you can immediately play this right back, so seems good there. Remember, opponent sacrifice an artifact, this still 2 damage to them, including treasure tokens, so it's kind of like a treasure token hate bear. Any kind of artifact synergy decks will not be super happy to see that, so it might happen in standard. Essence of Antiquity. You can turn a face up. Creature you control gain hexproof until end of turn. Untap them. He's a 1/10. That's cool. Yeah, so you play him for 3 and then you flip him up for 3. That's not the worst. To have 3 up. And then you get to block with all of them. This might be an Arcades card. That's that other card I was looking for, is that big old alligator. We might see him. No More Lies. Very good counterspell. Well, not very good, but it's like Mana Leak with white and blue. Counter target spell unless they pay 3. If that spell's countered this way, exile it instead of putting it in the graveyard. No More Lies. Gotta find the truth. Vidigazi Inspector. The Bogart. Warden. Pretty big and limited. Murder! It was murder! Okay. Let's keep going. I haven't pulled any slimes in those packs. I think we might have gone through maybe 5, 6 packs. Detective. Mountain. Ooh, got a foily mythic. Underground Recon. 1 in green enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. I will take it. Building I've had this 5-color Gates deck for a long time. Land synergies and whatnot. There's not a bunch of fetches in there, but if you have enough fetch lands, this could be very worth it in those decks. So, looking forward to it. Cool to see. Nice in the foil. It's kind of dark, but cool. Very cool. Proft's Edited Memory. No maximum hand size. When it enters, you draw a card. Enchantment for 2, 1 and a blue. In beginning of combat on your turn, if you draw more than 1 card this turn, but X counters on target creature you control, or X is the number of cards you've drawn this turn, -1. Except for the first. And then we got the Gruul one, Commercial District, Gruul Simic, Surveil Land. I'm happy to see it. Grime Novelist. Look at that guy go. Whenever you sack an artifact, you make a red mana and put a counter on him. Oh yeah, and he gets a counter. But cool. Cease and Desist. Destroy all artifacts and enchantments for 6. Yeah. Exile up to 2 cards from a single graveyard. Target player gains 2 life and draws a card. I like that better than this, but this could be worth it. I like this a little bit better. I don't know. It's not the best rates. Demand Answers, I think, is decent. Due Diligence. Good combat trick in limited. And Murder. Alright. Come on. Easy to open these packs. Easy. Imp. We got an Imp. Ooh, crazy art. Look at that guy. Mountain. We got a Gravestone Strider foil. War Leader's Call. I'm a fan. 1 red and a white. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, this deals 1 damage to each opponent. And creatures you control get +1/+1. Cool. And we got another blue-white Surveil land. Cool. Branch of the Vitu-Ghazi. Awesome, awesome. Turn face up, add 2 mana of any one color. Till end of turn, you don't lose mana steps and phases end. So if you play it for 3, and you flip it up for 3, you can get 2 mana out of it, of any one color. And then it taps for land mana after that. So if you're in a non-creature deck, you can play this out as a creature. Seems decent. I'm a fan. Got the Rakdos version. Destroy target tap creature, and put 2 creatures from a single graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. They gain haste, and you sack them at the end. Not the worst. Not the worst card ever, because hybrid 2-mana destroy tap creature is not a bad thing to have at the beginning of the game. This later on. I think this will see some waves in probably standard. It was definitely working its magic in limited. I lost a game off that. Case of the Proof. Whenever a detective enters, for those detective deaths. Nice. The Thinking Cap, also for the detectives. Cool. Hot Shots, Galvanize, the Panther. Let's put these guys over there. Shady Informant, another flip guy. The Griffin. Cool, cool, cool. Alright. Let's see what we got next. Ooh, Nibmez. The man himself. The man, the myth, the legend. Cheated. Ooh, a Trotta Mythic. 1 a blue and a black. Vampire Assassin. Face down creatures you control have 2 blue-black. Turn this creature face up. If you can't, exile it. Then you may cast this exiled card without paying its mana cost. Whenever assassin you control deals combat damage to a player, cloak the top card of that player's library. So you're going to be stealing a lot of stuff. A lot of info. And she's got Death Touch, so she's probably getting in. Probably going to get in. But we'll see. Sample Collector. Ooh, I like this guy. Attacks, you can collect evidence 3. If you do put a counter on a creature you control. Seems decent. Torch the Witness. Good removal spell. Raise the Dead. Tunnel Tipster. The Goblin Master. We got ourselves a slime. Slime number 2. Just gonna check real quick. Ooh, makeshift binding in this alt art. This is the O-ring. Exile target creature and opponent controls until this leaves the battlefield, and you gain 2 for those life gain decks. Alright, slime number 2. Alright, we've seen most of the cards now. Oh, we got ourselves a clue. Another part of the puzzle. I don't think that matched any of the pieces we have yet. Ooh, I like the foil on that. It makes 2 investigate tokens, so 2 clue tokens and this, and then if you sacrifice a artifact this turn, you can make another Thopter. So this could potentially make 4 bodies on the same turn. Seems very good. I'm a fan of that. Deadly Cover Up. This is that. Let's see. Yeah, destroy all creatures. If evidence was collected, you can exile a card from that graveyard, their opponent's graveyard, and then search. It's a card, so you can choose a basic land. You could choose any land permanents as well. Search the graveyard, hand, library for any number of those cards, exile them. That player shuffles and draws a card for each one that was in their hand. So, this is like the ultimate hate card. Mistway Spy is a decent little combat trick where you can maybe get away with drawing a couple cards, maybe 3 cards for the investment. Or you can just pay him for 1 and he's a 1/1 flyer. Not bad. The Juggler could come out as a Menace 2/2. Caught red-handed, can't be countered, gain control for 5 mana. That's really high. Nobody's gonna play that. Nobody's gonna do it. Good and limited. Flyers are really good. Investigate when he enters. Get yourself a clue. Draw a card the next turn if you want to. And the big Helion. This is probably one of the biggest disguised guys to flip up. 6/7. But you gotta flip them up quick. Got a little token. Ooh. Croson Tusker. If you cycle them, you search your library for a basic land, reveal that card, and put it in your hand, then shuffle. That's funny. He's a pretty big creature, too. Huh. Okay. Cool from the list. Pick your poison. Foil. Nice. Aurelia's Vindicator. A mythic. Flying lifelink ward 2 and disguise X3 white. When you turn face up, exile up to X other target creatures from the battlefield and creature cards from graveyards. And when this leaves the battlefield, return the exile cards to their owner's hands. You can get some stuff back from graveyards too after this goes. Or you can exile their guys. It's not going to re-enter the battlefield, so it's going to make them go to the hand. So it's better than most of the other types of removals like that. Let's see. So we got a Sentry. Face down permanence, Soul Search, reveal their hand, choose a non-land card from it, exile it. If it was one or less, they get a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token. Probably going to be a standard card. The goat, the frantic goat. When he comes in, you suspect it because it's very suspecting. And then whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may make that suspected instead of the goat. Got her another slime. Slime number 3. Cool. Got a Bogart, a Sprite, Novice, and Shady Informant. Cool. Alright. Let's get to it. Aurelia. Looking for answers. Got an island. Full art island. Ooh, got a double strike trample disguise dude. He's probably one of the better flip up ones. Ooh, urgent necropsy. So you can collect evidence 6, exile stuff from the graveyard, and then destroy up to 1 target artifact, up to 1 target creature, target enchantment, and planeswalker. Where X is the total mana of those spells. Of the permanents dispel targets. So if you collect evidence 8, you can pretty much get anything. But not too bad. Not too bad at all. Let's put the whale guard over there. And no more lies. Caught red-handed. The herring. Magnifying glass. You can create treasure tokens for 4 mana. Not very good. But it's decent. It's notable. Makes mana. Might be okay in colorless decks if you're making like a budget colorless commander deck. Ooh, I like that goblin token. Very cool. And we got ourselves a foil swamp. And a foil panther. Awesome. And then we got the phoenix. You can collect evidence and return them to the battlefield tapped if he dies. Nice. Return them if they die. Not bad. Lightning Helix, deal 3 and gain 3. I didn't know they were bringing that in. I haven't seen it until now. The Snuffler. Return target equipment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Tap to this. Is it hammer time? Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, you put a counter on this. Is this like secretly a good card? In like I don't know, artifact aristocrat decks like Corvald or something. Not on my watch. Exile target attacking creature for 2 mana. Wow, that's actually a decent rate. Can't be countered. Costs 3 less to cast if you sacrifice something. Limited. Good limited spell. Prime for the treasure decks and whatnot. Fanatical Strength. Nice. Let's see what we got. An ooze. An island. The familiar. Good kitty. Anthrax Rampage. The Mole God. Destroy artifacts you don't control. Then exile the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of artifacts that are put in the graveyards from the battlefield this turn. Graveyards for everybody's battlefield. You may put a creature card exiled this way onto the battlefield. It gains haste to return to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. So you can get some pretty big stuff with this off the library after destroying everyone else's mana rocks and whatnot. This may actually be a good hate card in some decks, including this Doorkeeper Thrall. Happy to get a second copy of him. Gonna see some play in some CDH formats possibly. When he enters, you search your... Oh, he goes and gets the magnifying glass and the thinking cap and put them on the battlefield. Still not worth it. Whatever deck you're in, don't do it. If you want to play some fun cards in a budget deck, go for it. Get some free permanents out and some mana out. But if you can cast them for 6, you're probably already there. Mill 3 cards and investigate. Not bad. Each opponent mills 3 cards, then you may cast a spell from each opponent's graveyard without paying its mana cost. Any card. So it doesn't have to be one of the ones that they put there. If a spell cast this way would be put in a graveyard, exile instead. Cool. Nice. Haven't seen that one yet. The Bogart deals 3 more combat damage. Investigate. Okay. Really hard to get to that. Okay. 6 mana to do that. It's way too much. Yep. Quick back. I think we've seen the cycles now. Ooh, there's Teysa. And there's the Planeswalker. What's she doing back there? Got ourselves a forest and a foiling murder. Now you can see the houses a little bit better. The guilds. Sharp-eyed Rookie. If a creature enters the battlefield under control, if its power is greater than this, power or its toughness is greater than the sharp-eyed shooters, then you put a counter and investigate. So it's evolve plus clue tokens. And treacherous greed too. Double rare. Nice. We got a knife, a 1 mana clue equipment, so you can sack it as a clue. As long as it's your turn, crypt creature gets +1/+0 per strike. They're gonna be stabbing. Fuss and bother. Put a counter on each attacking creature you control. That's not bad. And then create 3 1/1 Thopters and Surveil 2. Okay. Chalk outline. When they leave the battlefield, you get this stuff. Get all this stuff. Magnifying glass. The sprite. Repeat offender. Alright. Let's see. We got a merfolk. The Phantom. Cryptic Coat. Cool. It lets you put the top card of your library on the battlefield and cloak it, and you can turn it up for any time for its mana cost, if it's a creature card. It can't be blocked. Unfortunately, this can't be equipped to anything else because there's no equip cost. But you can return this to your hand and continue to cast it. But I don't know if it's worth the investment. Whenever you collect evidence, you make a Thopter. Seems good, at least in limited formats. She's interesting. For 1 green, when you flip her up, it is 3 to cast her first as a cloaked creature. But if you can flip her for 1 green and get a land, put it into your hand with a basic land type. Yeah, not the very greatest. The Promenade. You can sacrifice an artifact or you can tap a land. You sacrifice it unless you tap an artifact or you tap a land. So if you have an artifact out, you can pay this and then tap for any color the next turn. So it's a little bit better than those other ones. Still not the best, if you can avoid it. Goblin token. Plains. Ooh, foiled hustle and bustle. Target creature attacks or blocks each turn. Creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain trample until end of turn. You may turn a creature you control face up. That's not too bad if you're playing that deck. Blood Splatter Analysis. I actually just like the flavor on this. 3 damage to target creature and opponent controls when this enters. Whenever one or more creatures die, mill a card and put a blank stain counter on this. Sacrifice it as 5 or more. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. They finally found him. Les Portico. Got the Selesnya duel. Nice. Getting close to him. We just got 4 of them at the moment. 4 different ones. Teysa the Filch Falcon. I like it. You pay it for 1 blue, get a clue token. If you control 3 or more artifacts, you solve this at the end step. You can put 4 counters on something. On a bird. It's not the best payoff, but I do like the original ability. Branch of Ichigati. Nice. Insidious Roots. Ooh, this makes your tokens tap for mana. I like this alt frame. I never saw this version. Whenever one or more creature cards will leave your graveyard, create a plant creature token. Then put a counter on each plant you control. Nice. In those Golgari fungus decks, very good in there. I suspect it would be good in there. But sweet. Alright. We can put those there. Alright, let's go. A mysterious creature appears. Who is it? Hooters Man. Public thoroughfare. Audience wishes Donnie. Create a plant and draw cards equal to the number of differently named creature tokens you control. So you can draw quite a bit of cards with this, at least 1. But ideally you're going to want to try to get as many other ones as you can. Turn target face down creature face up. Exile any number of face up creature you control with disguise and a face down pile. Shuffle that pile and then cloak them. Okay. Too many steps. It's not really worth the payoff. Turning these face up guys, there's nothing with like a super crazy ability except for like the angel. Really happy to see the Aurelius Vindicator, but a human seems nice. Hosta Vigilante, Axebane Feryx, Haste Death Touch, 4/4, 4 mana 4/4, and he's Ward collects evidence 4. So if they don't have enough things to exile, he's basically hexproof. So this is a hexproof Death Touch Haste 4/4. Very cool rates. I'm a big fan of the rates. Case of the Getaway Express. Enters the battlefield. Choose creature you don't control. Each creature you control deals 1 damage to that creature. If you attack with 3 or more, then creatures you control get +1/+0. Cool. Got a rope, a clue. Clue, sacrificial clue. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, target opponent gets 2 poison counters. New win con. Oh man. Shock. Ooh, deduce. I'm a fan of this art. Ooh, the witness. Okay. Sacrifice another creature, draw a card. If that sacrificed creature was suspected, draw 2 cards instead. Okay. Cool. Well, we are well past halfway through the box. Thanks so much for sticking in with us, guys. Got the token. I got a foily land. Albie, and the Pride of the Hulklade. This is the card I needed for that Arcades deck. Oh man, the 11/2/15. He's a legendary creature, crocodile, elk, turtle. Cosmic is crazy. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total toughness of creatures you control. Defender, obviously. And then 2 blue until end of turn. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 gains when this creature deals combat damage to a player. Draw cards equal to its toughness. And can attack as though it did not have Defender. And so this guy can swing in and draw you 16 cards in Arcades. Or you can make one of your other huge dudes swing in. You can activate them to attack now. At least give them one, but they're always going to draw based off the toughness, so it's always going to be high toughness. So very cool to see him. He was exactly what I was looking for. But it's cool cards in this set. Cool cards. Sweet. Happy to see it. We can just end the video now. Case of the Shattered Pact. Look at this. 2-mana colorless case. When he enters, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. Okay. And then to solve it, there are 5 colors among permanents you control. Beginning of your combat on your turn, target creature you control gains flying, double strike, and vigilance until end of turn. Not too bad. Not going to see too much out of like a 5-color draft format probably. You'd have to build around it. But bite down on crime. Got yourself a bite spell. Nice. But sweet. Very happy to see the Pride of Wholeclad. What we were looking for. So that makes it, we're at four mythics, but we had one in the special art and then a foily one. So we may still see a couple more. Connecting the dots, I'm a fan of this. I think this will do well in red decks that don't have too many ways to draw cards. Whenever a creature you control attacks, which you're doing in red, exile the top card of your library face down, and then you can discard your hand, sacrifice connecting the dots, put all cards exiled with connecting the dots into their owner's hands. And so you can't look at the cards, but at one point or another you're going to have 2 mana and no cards in your hand, and you're not going to care if you're sacrificing this. You're going to draw 7-8 cards for every time you attacked. So it's going to pay off. Especially in a deck like Goblins, which is where I'm going to put this, because you're attacking with 15 golems every turn. All of a sudden you're drawing 40 cards. You're going to find what you need. It'll help you close out the game. Got the case of the pilfer pantry. Cool. Yeah, but connecting the dots, one of those cards that I think is got the right rate for what it does. Ooh, we got ourselves a suspect token. It's got that same checkered outline. Plains. Mystery key from the list. Cool. This definitely fits this set. Whenever the equipped creature deals damage to a player, sacrifice it and draw 3 cards. This is absolutely a good include from the list for this set, flavor-wise. Ooh, I like the foiling on that. Very cool. Drag the Canal. Create a 2/2 white and blue detective creature token. If a creature died this turn, you gain 2, surveil 2, and investigate. That's a lot of good things happening at the same time. When he enters the battlefield, all suspected creatures are no longer suspected. And then when he dies, you gain 3 life, suspect up to 1 creature an opponent controls. I kind of feel sorry for him. She's cool. You can exile her from the graveyard and make 2 back tokens. And she's a 2-mana 1/3 flying vampire. Ooh, I am going to be making a more in-detailed video about this guy. He can go infinite with a couple of things in standard. Won't be making standard decks though. Going to be putting him in commander. But this plus the Pilgrims, Merfolk's Pilgrim card. You tap him, untap him another way, some other way, and you can make infinite Merfolk tokens. Or you can untap other cards that untap things, and then he can untap himself. Yes, all the things. You collect evidence 3, and you can tap a creature you don't control as well. Seems cool. Gonna be using him in a couple different ways. Lead Pipe, Clue, sack it, or when the creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life. He gets +2/+0. Good little card. Maverick, the Herring, Clue, and the Good Boy, the bestest of boys. Whenever a creature 2 or less enters the battlefield, surveil 1. Very good limited. Alright. Got the leech. The plains. Stalker. Ooh, Krenko. Baron of 10th Street. 2 in a red. Goblin. Haste. You can tap, sacrifice an artifact, put a goblin counter on each goblin you control. Not bad, not bad. Whenever an artifact is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay red. If you do, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token. It gains haste. Very cool. Very cool, Krenko. Happy to see him. Gotta love Krenko. One of my first commanders ever made. From old school Ravnicas. Underground Mortuary. Nice. Nice. Got a couple of those from the pre-release. Happy to see another. Welcome. Fester Leech. Zombie Leech for 1 mana. When it deals combat damage to a player, mill 2 cards. And then you can bump him. 1 in a black and gets +2/+2. Seems good. Seems decent. Radical. Yep. Meddling Youths. Whenever you attack with 3 more creatures, investigate. Has a 4/5 with haste. Seems cool. Sanitation module. Outcold. Can't be countered. Put counters on creatures. Stun counters so they can't attack. He makes them dogs. Target creature gains death touch and lifelink investigate for 1 black mana. That seems efficient. Making a clue token and probably getting in for some damage. Gain some life at the same time. Might be a good sideboard card against burn decks and stuff. It might be a little slow though. You might just want it on the creature already. Island. Offender at Large. Ooh, this guy's interesting. So he's kind of like the Brash Taunter in previous sets. 4 mana, 3 in a black, indestructible construct, 1/1. When he enters the battlefield, you suspect it, so he can't block. That's a downside. He has menace, he can't block. When he deals damage to a player, you draw a card and you lose a life. And then whenever he's dealt that much damage, target opponent loses that much life. So he's indestructible, so he can't die. You can target him with as many burn spells and things as possible. You let him deal damage. Oh, he doesn't. He has to do combat damage to draw. But okay. But yeah, but if he attacks and someone blocks him, if they block him, then they're gonna take that much damage. So they don't want to block him. And if he deals damage, then I get to draw a card. So he will always get in unless they don't mind taking 2 damage instead of letting me draw. I think there's a lot of good upside to this guy. Especially if you're playing Rakdos or something, you're trying to do the burn sacrifice strategy. It might really work. I think he has his place. He just hasn't found his home yet. Whenever you collect evidence, you investigate. Notable wording there. Case of the Gordon's Kiss. When it enters the battlefield, destroy a creature that was dealt damage. Nice. Ooh, the Gear Drake. Enters, investigate, make a clue. Whenever you sack an artifact, you get a counter. Very efficient. Very pushed. Very good. Reasonable doubt. Person of interest. Who done it? Who is the one? Alright. A Thopter. Island. Ooh, foil candlestick, nice. Yaris, Roar of the Old Gods. Other creatures you control have haste. Whenever 1 or more face-down creature you control deal damage to a player, draw a card. Whenever a face-down creature you control dies, return to the battlefield face down under its owner's control. If it's a permanent card, then turn it face up. So if it dies, it goes to the graveyard, you put it back down, and then you flip it up so it gets all the abilities. He's definitely the commander for that, but I'm not sure if he's the right colors. He might just be good to include in the 99. Artifact that could be a creature for a little while and then flip face up. Not too bad. Only 2 equip cost. It's a decent equipment as is, but you can make it a creature, which is invaluable in those decks that has Ward 2. so it has a little bit of protection. I think it's not the worst, right? If you would draw a card with, well, your library has no cards in it, skip that draw instead. So this is a way to not die when you have all your cards drawn. As long as there are no cards in your library, he has base power and toughness 10-10 and is flying and vigilance. Okay, and he's hexproof. Have I not read this card before? That guy seems fun. If you're already milling your entire graveyard or your library, that's Silphnel strat. 5 mana is a lot though. He's just a 2/5 hexproof for 5 mana otherwise. So I don't know. I don't know if it's worth. Ooh, we got another clue. Look at this. It's a Slime Against Humanity, I think. Look at that. It says 11, and then there's a 10. There's numbers all over this. What does it mean? We'll look at that at the end of things. Ooh, Tulsamir. Midnight's Light. He's the 2 green and white. Elf Scout, lifelink. When he enters the battlefield, you create Voya. Voja, I think. Fenstalker, legendary 5/5, green and white wolf creature token with trample. Whenever wolf you control attacks, if Tulsamir attack this combat, target creature an opponent controls blocks that wolf this turn of combat if able. Sweet. So you can sick your wolf on dudes. Seems fun. We got the Vengeful Tracker. Probably might see some play, I don't know. Culvert Ambusher. Target creature blocks his turn available. This guy is for 5. Cool treatment. Bite Down. Dog Walker. On the Job. In the Lens treatment. Not too bad. We got about 6 packs left. Got the tokens. Forest. Due Diligence. Unyielding Gatekeeper. Probably see some standard play. Might do some play in some blink decks. I don't know. It's 3 mana to play him first. And he's just a 2 mana. So if you play him down, oh, we got ourselves a theater. Cool. Haven't got that yet. So if you play him face down, and you blink him with something else, he will actually come on untapped, face up, but he won't be turn face up, so he doesn't get the ability. But yeah, let's see. If you controlled it, return to the battlefield. Otherwise, that person, it just exiles that permanent, and then they get a 2/2 detective to look into it. So he could potentially be 5 mana exile a thing, get a creature, and if you have a way to flip him back down, he's probably better. Got the Satchel, the Infinite Library guy. Oh man, the Gadget Technician. Not bad. I don't know. He's decent. If anything, he's a 2 mana 3/2. He's a 2 mana 3/2 cleric. Spirit. Cool. So if nothing else, he might actually be okay on curve, just as a 3/2. Ooh, makeshift binding foil. I'm a fan. Look at that. Wow. Let's not do it justice. And Niv Mizzet. Heck yeah. Niv Mizzet the Gold Pact. He's Wooburg. White, blue, black, red, green. Dragon Avatar. 6/6. Got a little beefier. Flying. Hexproof and multicolored. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, it deals X damage to any target. Target player draws X cards. You gain X life, where X is the number of different colored pairs among permanents you control that are exactly 2 colors. Okay. He can be drawn all kinds of cards that are 2 combinations of things. So you could build it right. You could definitely build it right. But cool to see Niv. Wojek Investigator as well. I haven't been foiling. I haven't been putting sleeves on things. We're just gonna put a sleeve on Niv because he's got the most potential out of all the rares. To do crazy things. Beginning of combat on your turn, make a Thopter. Gains haste, and you sacrifice at the end turn. Seems decent to have a little haste flyer each turn. Got the Clue land. Scene of the crime. So you can use an artifact land Clue. So you play it tapped. You can tap it for mana when it's not. You can tap an untapped creature you control to add mana of any color. And you can pay 2, sack it, and draw a card. I don't know. It's tapped, so it's not great that it's tapped when it enters, but unauthorized exit, return in Surreal 1. Nice. Slice of the Shadows in the lens form. Cool. Can't be countered. I like they put a lot of can't be countered things on these cards. But Scene of the Crime. So I have this Emery deck. Cares about artifacts. And having an artifact land ahead of time may be worth it if you're trying to do affinity for artifacts, things like that. I don't know. We got ourselves another clue to the Scene of the Crime. Look at that. There's a little slime dude. Cool. Definitely gonna have to check those out afterwards. Ooh, okay. We got ourselves Kaya. Spirit's Justice. 2 and Orzhov colors. 2 white and a black. Whenever one or more creatures you control and or creature cards in your graveyard are put into exile, you may choose a creature card from among them until end of turn. Target token you control becomes a copy of it and has flying. Okay. Interesting. So you can plus her to make a spirit creature token. So that's fantastic. You got a way to do it. And then you can plus to her Surveil 2, exile a card from your graveyard. So you can Surveil 2, look at the top 2, exile something for later, and then make the spirit. Or vice versa. So 2+ ability is nice. Then -2, exile target creature you control for each other player, exile up to 1 target creature that player controls. So you can do that immediately. So, I mean, you probably want to make the spirit first. That's probably turn 1. Anyone who plays this on turn 1 is going to play the spirit first. And then after that, if she lives, which she's got a blocker now, you can start doing a lot. So, cool to see Kaya. She's got some interesting abilities. Got to be in the right deck, but seems decent. Got ourselves a 3-mana 6/2 Skeleton Beast with Menace. And then if it enters the battlefield, target opponent creates 2 1/1 white dog creature tokens. So, it also has Disguise. When he dies, each opponent loses 3 life. So if you just play him out, they're going to get 2 dogs, and you're going to have the 6/2, and the dogs can block him. He has Menace, so they both have to block him. 2 creatures would have to. But if you play him for 3 and then flip him up, then they won't get the dogs because he's not entering. So, he seems decent. Seems like a decent card. Good rates and whatnot. Got ourselves a Spider for the Shlobs decks. Long Goodbye. Can't be countered. Destroy creature. Planeswalker 3 or less. Very good. Humble and Bustle. Hustle and Bustle. The chase is on. +3, +0, and First Strike. Plus Investigate. Might be good for those feather decks, honestly. Because you can... I don't know. It's 3 mana. 3 mana is a lot. If it was 1 mana, +1, +0, and First Strike and Investigate, then we'd be talking. Ooh. Somebody was putting the hammer down. Island. Case of the Pilfered Proof. 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, but those tokens plus a crew token are creating instead for those detectives. Ooh, Ezrim. I think this is going to do some waves in Standard. When he enters the battlefield, investigate twice. Make 2 clues. You can sack an artifact, give him Hexproof, Vigilance, or Lifelink. So we can really swing the deck, the game in your favor. Forensic Gadgeteer. for those CDH decks that are trying to cast artifact spells, you can get clue tokens every time you cast an artifact. Probably going to put this in my Emery deck. And then if I do, probably put a Basalt Monolith infinite mana combo in there too, because activated abilities of artifacts cost 1 less to cast, 1 less to activate. This can't reduce it to less than 1, but this will at least make your clues only cost 1 mana to draw a card. Notable. You can activate your clues for 1 mana. So even if you can't do this, if you're casting artifacts, you can draw cards for 1 mana every time you cast an artifact. Very good. Happy to see it, and we'll probably be playing it in my Emery deck. Help with that card draw. Deadly Complication. Destroy a creature. Choose one or both. Destroy a creature, and then put a +1/+1 counter on a suspected creature you control. You may have it no longer become suspected because they killed the detective that was looking for him. Oh man. And the good boy. Cool stuff. Got ourselves a foily wrench, a clue equipment, so you can sack it, or it gets +1/+1 vigilance, and you can tap creatures. Cool. Lost in the Maze. I've never seen this. Flash. When it enters, you tap X star creatures, put stun counter on each of those creatures you don't control. Tap creatures you control have hexproof, so you can save your own creatures with this. It's an enchantment with Flash. It's not an instant, but it is Flash. Interesting card. Might not see too many cases for it. Sudden setback for 4 mana. Put target spell or non-land permanent. The owner of that spell or non-land permanent puts it on the top or bottom of their library. Might be good in standard. Heard there might be talk about it, but not too much otherwise. This Snoop, cool and limited. Flip him up and he can he lets you look at the top 2 and put one in your hand and one in the graveyard. Not too bad. Alright, almost done. Got our last few packs here. Seen all the cards we wanted to see, to be honest. But more cards are always welcome. Yeah, I think we're in the last 3 or 4. Got ourselves a Mask Maker. Ooh, the Cryptics. 2 mana. Tap, collect evidence 3. Add 1 mana of any color. Put an unlock counter on this. So 2 mana, tap for any color, basically. And then sacrifice this, surveil 3, then draw 3 cards. You can only activate it if it has 5 or more unlock counters on it. So if you tap this 5 times and collected evidence 3 5 times, then you can surveil 3 and draw 3. It's a lot of steps. I don't think it's really going to do what I want it to do as quickly as I want it to do it, but this guy, Pompous Gadabout, he has hexproof as long as it's your turn and can't be blocked by creatures that don't have a name. So any of the cloaked creatures that don't have names, morph creatures, stuff like that, they don't have names, so he can he can't be blocked by them. Repulsive Mutation. Put X counters on a creature, then counter up to 1 target spell unless its controller pays mana equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. Interesting blue-green counter spell by putting counters on things. Probably better to just play regular counter spells though. Whenever a creature with 2 or less enters, target creature control gets +1/+1 until end turn. Cool. The Whipstricker Vampire. Power 2 or less enters. Each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Notable. And then 5 mana. 5 plus white and a black. Creatures you control with 2 or less gain Death Touch and Lifelink until end of turn. This is more for limited. I'll say that. The Mole. Demanding answers. And Deduce. Not bad. Not bad at all. Alright. Let's get you out of here. We got 3 packs left. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Got the tile. Foily mountain, a foily rope. Ooh, look at this. Wow. I don't even know what style this is. Rakdos, Patron of Chaos, a 4 black and red mythic legendary creature demon. He's a 6/6 flying trample. At the beginning of your end step, target opponent may sacrifice 2 land non-token permanents. If they don't, you get to draw 2 cards. So that's a lot of mana, but wow, he's going to give you some benefits every single turn. Gotta love Rakdos. Got the Private Eye. He's the other detectives get +1/+1, and whenever you draw your second card each turn, target detective can't be blocked this turn. That that Private Eye detective dude. Oh, the Bloomkin gets +1/+1 for each forest you control. Forest matters. And then he's disguise 5. If you turn him face up, search your library for 2 forests, reveal them, put 1 on the battlefield tapped and the other in your hand. So it could be a very expensive cultivate. But he might just be better as a 2-mana 2/2. As a 2-mana 2/2, and then every turn it gets bigger. So seems decent at least for that. Alright, and then 2 more packs. Thanks again for sticking in today, watching the video. I like to put out these longer videos, just kind of sit back, relax, check out the art and the gameplay, and talk about some of the cards. Love that. Look at that. Look at these cities. Very cool. Ooh, foil connected the dots. Happy to see that. Definitely will be using this in my various decks. Happy to see a couple copies of those now. Assassin's Trophy. Never did have Assassin's Trophy, so it's cool to see this reprint. Didn't notice the art for a second there. But very efficient. Black-green, instant. Destroy target permanent and opponent controls. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle. So you can destroy anything for 2 mana. Very good. Even though they get a land, it doesn't matter. That's not what they needed. They needed whatever you blew up. So very cool to see. Getting some good cards in this last dramatic accusation. It's kind of funny. And the Slice from the Shadows. But Assassin's Trophy at the end there. Very cool. Just one more. Let's put a sleeve on that foiliness. I don't want to see scratches or nothing. But one more pack. But thanks again for watching today. I'm gonna release the next video with the bundle. Just gonna have 9 packs in there. Gonna go through this pretty quick compared to this. I like to kind of sit back and relax with these. Kind of see what we can go through. But yeah, thanks again for sticking in. Ooh, in the last rare we got Doppelgang XXX Green Blue. For each of X target permanents, create X tokens that are copies of that permanent. A lot of mana to get there, but not too bad. Not too bad. Ooh, and we got a wall. I never saw this. 1 and a white defender, 0/4. You can tap a creature, put a stun counter on it, but you also put it on this if you do. Okay. Probably won't make it into Arcades, but not too bad. And we got our 4th Slime of Humanity. So we got our 4 playset. Not too bad. But yeah, happy to see at least a couple of those guys. And at the end here, what do we get? We had the Rakdos, the Golgari, Selesnya. We got 2 of the Azorius. I like the full art more. I do. I think it looks better. And then we got the Gruul and then the Izzet, which I definitely wanted the Izzet one.
Hadn't seen that before. And then we got a Simic Full Art one from the pre-release kit. So happy to see almost all of them. Didn't get the Boros one, I believe. Yeah, what else were we missing? So I missed the Boros one, and what is that? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're missing 3. I think we're missing, so I've got the Simic one, the black, the Demir one, the Boros one, and the white black one, the Azorius. So we're missing those 3. But sweet. Still on the lookout for some other things. All right, let's look at one last thing here. Happy to see a couple of foil rares here too. Got a couple of foil rares. Got Rakdos, Kaya, Pride of the Whole Clade. Happy to see those. Urgent Necropsy, Aurelia's Vindicator, Atrata, and we got an Undergrowth Recon foil mythic as well, and Delaney. Happy to see it. So we have Portfolio, and then I don't know what this is. Maybe like a lens version. Yeah, so he's not Portfolio. I don't know what all the versions are, but yeah. So we got, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mythics. Pretty sick. And then let's do one last look here at the puzzle pieces. So here's 1. Here's 2, 3. 4, 5. So we know that this one matches there. So that goes there. Let's see if the rope attaches. Okay, so there's something, and then okay, so here we go. So this, so it's sort of like this. Cool. And then this, oh, and this is on the right. Okay. So look at that. We've almost got it. But sweet, I'll definitely revisit that again. But it looks like this is the full crime scene. Yeah, just like that land, it had those, the barrier put in place so that people don't cross into it while the detective is working. Sweet. Well, thanks again for watching today. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel for more. I'll be releasing new videos and deck tech videos soon as well. And hit the bell icon if you'd like to keep track of the next videos coming out. Thanks again for watching. You have a great day.